So I've been hiking around here today, just wandering along the riverbank and just throughout this area, trying to get a nice picture of a cottonwood tree. One of my favorite memories of when we first moved here to the Seattle area was we had been here almost a year. We moved here in June, and it was coming up on the 1 year anniversary of that, and it was mid-May, and we thought we had a good idea of like all the different seasons. We've been through winter, spring. We saw the leaves change. We thought we had seen like most of like the surprises of moving to a new area. Um, but then I remember walking outside one day and just seeing the air was full of cotton, and I'd never seen that before or heard about it. It was a completely new phenomenon that I wasn't expecting. And I remember we walked into a coffee shop and asked the cashier, like, "Hey, what's all this? What is all this stuff flying around? Like, where's it coming from?" And he said, "Oh, it's cottonwood." And I had never heard of that, so I went home, Googled it, and just spent a while obsessing over just learning about cottonwood because it was so new to me. And that always stuck with me. It's like, it almost reminds me of like the spring version of snow, just because it's everywhere. It gets in all the gutters are full of it, the streets are full of it, the air is full of it, and it's just like it takes over the whole Northwest during the spring, and it was just such a cool experience. And that always stuck with me. It was one of my favorite parts and one of my favorite discoveries of after we moved here in the Northwest, or moved here to the Seattle area in the Northwest. So since then, I wanted to grab a picture so I can have like just a little picture of a cottonwood tree that I could look at and put in my office and just remember that first year and kind of the new experiences when we moved here. And I wanted to grab that picture myself just because it makes it a little bit more of a more personal story, and it's nice having that kind of personal relationship to the pictures in my office and things like that. So I'm out here wandering around trying to get that picture. I know everyone, when you think of like the quintessential Washington or Northwest tree, you kind of think of evergreens, you think of needles, hemlock, pine, fir, like those type of things, but you don't really think of leafy trees too much. And I really feel like the cottonwood is the Northwest other tree, after the stereotypical ones. And it's a fairly interesting tree. It's the fastest growing hardwood in the Western United States, and it grows. It can reach maturity between 30 and 70 years. It's a good wood for building. It's not the highest quality wood, and it's not the strongest wood, but it is fairly strong for its weight. And people use it for a lot of things like furniture, packaging, kind of temporary structures sometimes, pallets, things like that, and also paper. It's fairly common to use it for kind of higher quality papers because of the way the fibers are. And you can always recognize a cottonwood tree. It's kind of hard to see today because it's cloudy, but when there's a light breeze that comes through, the bottom of the leaves on the cottonwood tree tend to be lighter than the top. And the way the leaves are shaped, they flutter very easily in the wind. So whenever there's a breeze, you can kind of see it coming through here. They kind of flutter around, and it looks like it's shimmering. So you can spot a cottonwood tree from fairly far away just because that distinctive shimmer. And once you've seen a couple cottonwood trees, it's really easy to pick out. Depending on the type of cottonwood tree, the bottom side could be like a lighter greenish color, or it could be like a yellowish color. The trees also turn a really nice color in the fall, so that's also a nice thing about these trees, especially since the other evergreens don't change in the fall. So what really gives the Northwest in Washington its color are these leafy trees, and especially the cottonwood during the fall. And it also has a useful resin. A lot of the natives in the area would use the resin for kind of like a skin balm. They can use it to treat bruises, I think rashes, and respiratory illnesses too. People to this day are still using it. They'll mix it with oil and use it as like a home remedy. One thing to keep in mind is there's, I think, a small percentage of people that have allergic reactions to cottonwood. So if you're out hiking, don't just go rub like some resin all over your skin, because you don't want to have an anaphylactic reaction when you're out here alone or far away from emergency services. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab that picture, but I wanted to really bring it up and talk a little bit about the cottonwood tree today. It really is, in my mind, the other Washington tree. And so next time you're out there, and if you see a cottonwood tree, I hope you think back and maybe you'll remember all these little things I told you about it. So I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna go try to grab that picture and head home before it gets too dark. But I'll see everybody out on the trail.